All right, everybody, this will be warning to all politicians running for president 2024, part 130. So, just a couple things here dealing with coronavirus and the election fraud. You know, we hear all the time about how there's very little evidence of election fraud, etc., etc., and there's no reason to go and get, voter ID and other safeguards put in place. And I think that's all been a cover-up because they just haven't told us how bad the voter fraud has been in a lot of these places, and everything to say that they're, every time you hear it come up in the media in the past and stuff, they'd always have people on there. Oh, it's especially the activists. Oh, there's no reason for it. Oh, you're gonna make a hardship. This is trying to suppress minority votes, etc., etc., etc. And so I think this stuff has been going on for a long time, and all that crap about just trying to suppress the minority vote has just been a smokescreen, because I think we're seeing now, because there are actually people who are not going to stay quiet, that they're fighting back this time, like the poll workers and everything, and they're getting some media attention and exposure on YouTube. I was just watching some of the testimonies in Michigan by the witnesses, and it was clear that the Democrats, especially the one Democrat there, Irwin, I think his name was clearly trying to steer the discussion away from the truth. And I gotta hand it to these ladies there that I watched stand up to him and pretty much put him in his place and tell him, no, this is about our rights. This was out and outright fraud was going on, and intimidation and all kinds of things. And they would pretty much try and shut these ladies down. You'd hear the gavel go and stuff, and they weren't having it. Right away, whenever these ladies said anything, they did. If they didn't get the narration that they wanted to, they were trying to move on, and they were not going to be shut down. They were going to be heard, and so hats off to them. But you're not seeing that in the mainstream media. You are not seeing it on the major news networks. You have to look for it. So you hear on the major news networks, oh, there's no evidence. Trump's dragging us out. Blah blah blah. Not even from Fox are you seeing these witnesses and the hard evidence. And so when you try and tell people, hey, there's a bunch of crap going on, and they're oh yeah, he's being thrown out of court. There's no witnesses, all this and everything like that, because they're just going by what they see in the main media. They're not bothering to look, and so if it is found that there was enough fraud that went on to cause Donald Trump to lose the election, and they can get a recount or something, whatever it is, or the state's electoral college votes, the electoral college decides they're gonna, or the court decides they're gonna overturn things and give Trump the win. Now all these people who don't know, because they've been fed all the crap by the news media, are going to say, oh, they're going to say, oh, there was something, this is fixed, this is being stole from Biden, etc., etc. So we're going to have more problems, I don't know, maybe even violence, unfortunately. I wouldn't doubt it. If you notice, there's no violence from the Trump supporters out there while all this is going on. There's no burning and looting and all kinds of crap going on. But I guarantee you, if it gets overturned and the Supreme Court or the legislatures and the Electoral College give the election to Trump, you will see your rioting and looting and all kinds of crap going on. And the news media will play it all the time. All the time. Angry citizens in the streets. Trump stole our election. Trump stole the election. This is oppression. We voted for Biden. You're going to see it. None of them are going to look and are not being shown right now. All these witnesses, who many of them are people of color, who have come forward and said, this is what's going on. And by then, if you show them that, they're just, what they usually do. Call them Uncle Toms and every other name in the book that they have for any minority that, isn't going along with how there's quote unquote supposed to act and vote and everything else. So if they're like Biden said, these people that don't support him aren't black. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So you're going to tell African American woman who comes forward and says there's fraud going on, well, she's not black. She didn't vote for me. She's not black. Isn't this lovely going on in America? Absolutely lovely. I don't know how they get away with it to do that. It's the part and parcel with, if you're white and you say anything that there's something wrong or, something ain't right, well, you're a racist. And if you're black, if you're black and you say there's something wrong and you don't do what they want you to do, well, now you're not black. They come up with all these little sayings, from the street. These little sayings from the street. What they got now? It's something about skin and kin. Oh hell, can't remember it. We might be skin kin, but we ain't something like kind of like Biden saying you ain't black. Is what they're saying. Isn't that something? If you're white and you say something about anything, you're a racist. And now if you're black and you say something about anything, well, you ain't black. Isn't that amazing? Well, they say kin by skin. Oh hell, I'll see it on one of these things. It's amazing. They come up with all this shit just to try and shut people down. They won't discuss an issue. They won't look at facts or data or nothing like that. It's all sayings and street sayings and these one-liners and stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So I don't think I've ever seen any crap like this in my lifetime, but it's probably been going on, just been blind to it, more blind to it and not paying attention. my whole life. But anyhow, the other thing's coronavirus. It's occurred to me, they really got to get down on the data and quit playing political games with this virus and everything. You can clearly look at it, what's gone on. Trump says this or Trump says that. It's the automatic knee-jerk reaction of the Democrats to take the opposite. You see his Fauci now saying, because there's new data saying, the schools should have been open. Fauci's flip-flopping on that. Nobody really calling him on that. Saying that Trump was right. We needed to open the schools, that there's very minimal danger to students. You can see also with the big spikes and stuff. I wonder how much is related to people claiming they've had contact or are sick or what have you, is due to being able to take off work and still get paid. I think it's 2 weeks or something like that. You say you've come into contact, or even you might have, and this is with the test, given all these false positives. You could have had it, not known you had it, not ever got sick, recovered from it, and you could still have remnants of that virus in your nose or whatever. You go and get tested, oh, you got it. So now you got to go home. You can't work for 2 weeks or whatever. But I think it's 2 weeks, and your employer still has to pay you or something. So here we are. We're getting close to the end of the year. Maybe a lot of people didn't use that, and they're thinking, shit, I'm going to take 2 weeks off of work and still get paid before that money runs out. You got to look at all these factors, and there's been so much. I mean, they just keep throwing out so much stuff, disinformation, that it's hard to pin anything down and to find the truth, because they just, you start pinning something down here and they throw out more garbage and change the subject, and it's a whole nother issue. And I think there's been a lot going on and a lot of misinformation. And in other countries, I was just looking, because I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, we keep hearing about, the USA, and Britain and Australia. Not hearing much about other nations in the world being so alarmist and taking severe measures and stuff. I was looking at things, South Africa tried a shutdown, but because they have so many impoverished areas and densely populated impoverished areas and stuff, they found it was pretty much impossible to keep social distancing and all the other stuff. And they found that recent testing there has shown that 44% of the population there has had it and been affected, what have you, and repeatedly is what they're thinking. And built herd immunity without any therapeutics, any vaccines or anything like that. Because I'm sitting here, they're talking, we're going to have the vaccine. We're going to have the vaccine. Okay. There's 7, 8 billion people in the world? How are you going to inoculate that many people? It would take decades after decades to inoculate that many people, I think. So I'm just wondering how this is all going to work. Are they thinking, well, we just need to inoculate a certain percentage of every country? How are these poor countries going to afford this vaccine? And all the workers needed to go out, and, administer. You know, I mean, all these little countries, you know, most of us never heard of. These little, what's going on in Cambodia? What's going on in Laos or I don't even know if the country Laos still exists because they changed a bunch of stuff or whatever. But these little East Europe, Slavic countries and stuff that we'll never hear of. These what's going on in them? What's going on in Russia? What's going on all over the place? South America, what's going on down there? What's going on in Mexico? So I wonder if it's a thing is we only hear from the countries that they have on board with this whole thing to make it seem worse than it is, and using it to shut down their populations and stuff for whatever, this great reset or whatever. If it is all worldwide, they have influenced and infiltrated media sources. And that's why we're only hearing from certain countries. Is the ones they have under their thumb. You're not hearing from the countries say, yeah, we didn't do shit and everybody's okay. Yeah, we had a couple deaths. They were in their 80s, but other than that, everyone's okay. It was like the flu. You're not hearing that. So it has to make you wonder what's going on. And God willing, God help us all, that if this has been played political games or there's been a sham going on somehow, some way, that people get held responsible, that because you've had whole lives destroyed. You've had people commit suicide. People have lost businesses. They've lost their marriages. Just actual hardship. Worrying about how they're going to feed their kids, this and that. They can't go to work. All these types of things. That don't affect the politics, because the politicians still getting paid. They're still getting paid. They're not behind on their rent or their mortgage and etc. And the more all the Hollywood people, I shouldn't say all of them because there's a lot of them do all the menial jobs that I'm sure have probably been hurting, but I'm talking the celebrities. Who think everything's a joke when you talk about how bad it is for the average person, and we need to get the country up and running and stuff and everything. It's not hurting them. Not hurting the talking heads. They try and make light of everything, every person who opposes the measures that have been taken. Try and play it off as, you're a virus denier. You're a conspiracy theorist. No, there's people losing their lives here. You understand? Losing their jobs. They're losing everything. Oh, we got people dying on a mass scale. No, you don't. You got 1% people dying from this shit, and they're all elderly. Not that their lives don't matter. But, just amazing. So I'm wondering what's going to go on worldwide. Take forever to try and vaccinate everybody. Are they just going to get to some point when the levels of infection get lower, or they claim it's gotten lower because they've been vaccinating? That's the thing. Suppose they get the vaccine out to 500 million people. Are we just going to see stories in the news? Suppose it's 100 million people. Are we just going to see, the feel-good stories just start popping up in the news? Oh, the virus is finally dying off. Thank God for Joe Biden. He got rid of the virus. We just gonna see crap like that? I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't doubt it. All of a sudden it's magically gonna disappear. They got a few million doses of vaccine out there in the world. So, and I have no doubt this hasn't been used politically in other nations around the world too. Absolutely no doubt. So, just some questions about those things: the voter fraud, the virus. Just some real sketchy stuff going on with both, the election and I'll tell you what, though, if people tampered and fixed things, and they need to be held accountable, tried for treason. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I have no doubt people that down on the lower rungs who were used in these polling centers or, in places they counted ballots and stuff, like, shit, it ain't no big deal. I'm just going to throw that over there, put it in for Biden. No big deal. Who cares, man? F these people. Who cares? Commit an act of treason. You're committing an act of treason. It's amazing sometimes people scream most about their constitutional rights and being oppressed and everything like that. Don't give a damn if they screw with your constitutional rights. Try and take away, from you. So, and it's no big thing. They feel justified. The society and the news media has inbred it into them. They can do whatever they want. They are justified. That they have been oppressed so long and all this and everything. They've drummed, and look, it's victimization. Let me tell you something. A lot of people don't understand. One of the reasons Hitler was able to do what he did was he played that victimization card. Many Germans, many people around Germany felt like they were victims. Do you understand? They were being oppressed. That was their rally cry. That's how they got to the point where they could be as inhuman as they were to the Jews. They felt justified. Do you understand that? So all you people out there playing as everybody's a victim stuff and using that to get power, you ain't no different than Hitler. You are not any different than Hitler, because sooner or later you're going to push it to the point where people will think violence, even mass murder, everything like that is justified. They're getting back. They're getting revenge against the system and the people who've held them down forever. Do you understand this? Hitler played the victim card, and he played it well. Do you understand? These people are all, everyone's a Nazi. White America, you Nazis and racists and all this and everything like that. No. The people Hitler appealed to were the ones who felt like they were victims. And hey, in a lot of respects, there were a lot of things the powers that be after World War I really put the screws to Germany. So it wasn't an easy time after World War I for people in Germany. But I'm sure the rest of the world felt like, hey, look, you ain't going to ever do this stuff again. But people don't realize that about, How was Hitler was able to, oh, well, he just burned the Chancellor building and this and that. No, there was a lot more to it. There was a lot more to it. But the number one thing is he played off of people's emotions and everything and told them they were victims. They were victims and needed to join him in the rise up against their oppressors. Do you understand that? That is what is going on in this country to some degree from the left and the socialist, and a large portion of the minorities are playing this off to where they will be justified in anything they do because they've been told they are oppressed. Time to rise up against your oppressors, etc., etc., what have you. And that will be, any whites who disagree with them, and then any blacks who disagree with them, just like Biden said, well, they ain't black. That's going to be their mindset for that too. They are just going to not count you as being black, which means they will be justified in doing anything to you too. Can you see where all this is going? So if you in their mind, if you're white, you're an oppressor, you're a racist, you're a fascist, all this stuff. And if you're black and you don't agree with them, well, you ain't black no more. That's it. So they're justified in anything they do against you too. This is a very dangerous game they are playing for political power. Do you understand? The nonsense has got to stop. But if I don't think a lot of people notice this, and can see the correlation. The Nazis were able to do the things they did to other people because they made a large population believe they were victims and they would be justified in doing those things to those other people. Do you understand that? And that's what's going on now in this country. And the news media has been playing along with it, especially CNN and stuff. When Trump was running for office and people were being assaulted for just wearing a MAGA hat. All these other things, these fake stories and stuff. Hey, there were a lot of fake stories in Nazi Germany too. You have Jesse Smollett and the Bubba Wallace guy and their phony bullshit and everything. Hitler used that kind of shit too. I'm telling you, man, many people weren't aware of what they were doing, following Hitler and the Nazis and stuff. In their minds, they're justified. And many people in this country might not be aware of the way he played his people and stuff and be able to see that they're being played the same way here. Being told they're a victim all the time. And creating this antisocial mindset. So, we'll throw all that out there and give people, maybe it'll give people a reason to think. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? Because that's the way it works. Many Germans felt they were justified in doing what they did. There were a lot of soldiers and stuff in the Nazi party, it was like, follow orders or we'll kill you too, that were at those camps. But there was a lot of them there who thought no big thing of it. They were justified because they'd been told the Jews had been oppressing them. You understand? They were told the Jews had been oppressing them. Or they were part of the cabal that was oppressing them. So treating the Jews the way they did was no big thing to them. They felt justified. See a lot of that going on now. can riot in the street, can loot, can assault people, can kill people and stuff, because you're justified, because you've been oppressed, man. And if you don't say you're oppressed and go along with the program, you ain't even black. You ain't black. They're playing an awful dangerous game here in America. You understand that? You're either a racist or you ain't black. They're playing an awful dangerous game. This victimization stuff. Maybe that's their thinking. Hey, it worked for Hitler. Is that their thinking? All right, wish you all the best out there. Have a good Christmas. God bless.